Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the week. Nope. This is a next 6-month reading. This is from now until the end of the year. So whenever you're watching this reading, it's from now until the end of 2021. But we're going to see what comes up for you here, Virgo. This is just going to be a free flow reading. We're just going to see what comes up. Blessings, your first card. I love it. So definitely good things coming in for you here over the next 6 months, Virgo. But let's keep it going. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what is going on for you at this time. Also, if you're wondering, I am using the Tarot of the Mystical Moments. So that's that. But Virgo, this looks pretty good. I definitely feel like you've been through a lot. That's what I'm getting in this first row. You have experienced or been experiencing many, many burdens in your life. I feel that in a lot of ways that these burdens, just like intuitively, have been mental burdens. I feel that maybe a lot of the challenges that you've been going through, probably for, I would say, more like the past 3 years or so, maybe a little bit longer for some of you. It's like I feel like these challenges that you've been going through have been more mental. I feel like and what I mean by that is, like, I feel like you've gone through a challenge and then it's had like a mental, an effect on your brain or your well-being. So I get that type of energy here in this first row. You do have blessings coming in here. I do feel like it's kind of like saying, look on the bright side, number one. But number two, I do feel like there are blessings coming in for you, based off of the things that you have gone through. You even have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is a card of experiencing burdens, but, it is a card of coming to the end of those burdens. That normally on a traditional Ten of Wands, there's a person who's walking towards a village, and it kind of suggests that they're about to put those 10 wands down. So it's almost like you are at the end of a very long journey here that you've been going through. Again, you have the King of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and the Ten of Wands here. You actually have the King of Swords twice. This deck has a male and a female version of the Kings in the deck, and I just leave them in there, because why not? And so you have the King of Swords twice, which I find interesting as well in your reading. But I do feel like there's a positive change coming up at the end. But again, I feel like the Nine of Wands, this is a great Nine of Wands. She has these kind of like scars all over her on this card. And I do feel like it's saying that, again, you've been experiencing these mental burdens. You've been experiencing some very heavy weights. So let's see where this is going for you. I almost feel, here, Virgo, that this is what you have been through, like the whole entire reading, everything that's here. I feel like the clarification is like what you are moving towards, which is different than the other readings I've been doing, but just, I read intuitively, and that's what I'm getting. You have the Two of Swords here, needing to move on to new lands. Again, there is definitely, again, I'm not going to sugarcoat this part, Virgo. There is definitely a need for you to look for blessings. Like, I feel like you need to find a reason to be happy about something, right? And that to me is a very challenging thing to do, especially if things are not going well, or if things haven't been going well in certain areas of your life. It could be love, business, money, doesn't matter, right? Wherever it is for you that you've been experiencing burdens or challenges, it can be very, very hard to look on the bright side. It can be very hard to look for that kind of glimmer of hope, right? But that's really what I feel like this reading is asking. I'm not calling you stubborn here, Virgo, but this is a stubborn energy. She is kind of crossing her heart. She's trying to protect herself, and she's not looking behind her. She's afraid of being hurt by these two rocks that are in the water. But there's new land behind her over here, and there could be really good things for you on these new lands, but it's like gonna require you to get out of your head. Yeah, you have the Nine of Cups here. I really feel like you need to not give up on a wish. I always say this to you, Virgo. It comes up in every single one of your readings. I always get like this world energy for you, where it's kind of like there's something that you see as the ultimate accomplishment. I feel like there's something where if you got it, you would say to yourself, I made it. Whatever it is, right? It could be starting a business. It could be moving to a certain location. It could be getting married. It's like I feel like there is a you've made it moment in your life, but you don't have it yet, is what I would say this reading is saying. Page of Swords. I feel like you need to be curious. I feel like you need to look into things. You have the Page of Swords twice. How crazy is this? King of Swords, King of Swords, Page of Swords, Page of Swords. Like opposite each other here. Very interesting. I have a feeling I'm going to be pulling an extra row here, Virgo, because, you know, I definitely need more details on this, but there is like an I've made it moment for you in your life. And it's going to be different for all of you because, again, we don't all want the same thing. So I feel that your first bit of advice here is number one, don't quit on this dream. 9 of Cups, make a wish. 2 of Swords, it's going to require you to kind of experience new things. 2 of Swords isn't really necessarily leaving a comfort zone. It's more, 2 of Swords is more leaving where you have always been, which is a little bit different. In your next row here, you have the Breathe card here. I'm getting won't go unnoticed are the words that are popping into my head. I feel that you could have a concern or worry that all your hard work is going to go unnoticed or isn't going to be rewarded. I feel like the opposite is true here, Virgo. A very clear message that I'm getting in this middle row. 8 of Pentacles, Strength card, and the Ace of Cups here. I keep getting this message for you that you're afraid that something is going to go unnoticed, or you're afraid that you're not going to, be noticed for work that you have done. But I feel like you will. I would definitely let go of those fears, let go of those worries with this energy. 8 of Pentacles is like major success. To me, 8 of Pentacles is also success or abundance coming in for the work that you have done. The Strength card is, being patient, being strong. But to me, the Strength card is also a display of strength. Again, I personally love the Strength card because she normally has her hands in the lion's mouth. And it kind of represents doing something that is crazy, number one, and doing something that people normally don't do, putting their hands in a lion's mouth, right? So I feel like kind of you are going to be seen as doing something that is very powerful. You are going to be seen as doing something that's very special. And you have the Ace of Cups here as well. Very interesting that you always get butterflies in your readings. It just popped into my head, Virgo. You always get butterflies, definitely going through a transformation. But you have the 8 of Pentacles, and then you have all the butterflies floating out of this Ace of Cups here. So it's kind of like the work that you're doing right now, whether this is work on yourself or work towards this goal, wish, or dream, it's like going to have a very big impact in your life. It's going to be very important for you. Let's see where this is going. You have the Ace of Swords, the victory coming in for you here as well. Ace of Swords is kind of like bringing your life into balance. And I'm noticing all the sword energy here, but I'm not getting like typical sword messages that I would normally get. The sword's energy can represent like mental energy. It can even represent spiritual energy as well, or communications. It can represent making sacrifices and all these other things. It can represent directness, being very straightforward, all sorts of stuff. But what I would say here is that I feel differently about your sword's energy for whatever reason. It's not immediately clear to me. I think we're going to ask at the end just so I don't get stuck on the message. But I do feel for some of you that there's like a lot of abundance coming in for you here. So I like that. 2 Wands, there it is. I mean, 2 Wands is leaving a comfort zone. There's normally a little village down here on the 2 of Wands. So the 2 Wands can definitely represent leaving a comfort zone to be successful, to, get that ultimate reward. And you have the 6 of Swords going through a rite of passage. Sometimes, I do feel like sometimes like the universe is like, I believe we create our own reality. We can have whatever we want, right? I think people think like, oh, we come here to Earth and if we're destined to be a tarot reader on YouTube, then that's all we're going to be. I feel like that couldn't be further from the truth. I feel like if you wanted to become like the next Elon Musk or whatever, and you wanted to build a rocket and launch yourself to Mars, then go for it, right? I feel like we can do whatever we want. We just, number one, have to believe it. Number two, we have to put it into action. But I also feel like there's a price we have to pay, and that's the 6 of Swords. Six of Swords is like a rite of passage. It's like the universe is saying, okay, to be the type of person that gets to launch a rocket to Mars, you have to do this, this, and this. And so it's like, then we have to go on the journey. We have to go through the choppy waters to be able to accomplish something. But it's like, you've already been through all this, right? So I feel like this 6 of Swords is saying, go collect your reward. Ace of Swords, victory. I feel there's like one last thing that you have to do to get that ultimate reward that you've been hoping for, Virgo, in your life. Love it. In your last row here, you have the 4 Swords, definitely going through recovery. I mean, you have the 4 Swords twice, didn't even notice, but you have the 4 Swords twice, so I would take some time to rest, relax, recover. Yeah, you have the Crow card. Look, the Crow card is holding on to something shiny there. I feel like saying just he's holding on to his shiny, holding on to something very valuable to the crow right there. So the crow is about, it's kind of like magician energy. It's about using your powers of manifestation. But I also feel like there's something that you see as your reward. You have the King of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Page of Swords. So popping into my head is knowledge. King of Swords is a card of maturity, and it's a card of, I always say the King of Swords has been through the most battles out of all the kings in the tarot. It's like he has the most, battlefield experience. So I feel like you are in a position where you have the most experience in some area of your life. And it's like you need to realize that you have gained that experience, and now it's time to use that experience to be successful. So I feel like there's success coming in for you here. I would definitely take time to rest, relax, recover. And I feel like that Page of Swords is just saying you need to be curious about things that make you curious. Let's figure this one out and see where it's going. Fool, definitely time for you to take a leap of faith towards something here, Virgo. You have the Three of Pentacles here as well. There's a lot of recognition coming in for you here. It's not here yet. It wouldn't surprise me if you didn't receive the recognition until next year. Like once we get into 2022, but everything you do right now, it's like you're laying a base right now, Virgo, is what this reading is saying. You are laying a base for next year. And so I would, lay it on thick this year, because I feel like whatever you do this year is going to pay off times a million next year. So I would say that you're like laying a base at this time. Wheel of Fortune, it's going to change your life forever. Wheel of Fortune, major turnaround, major success, abundance, luck. So there's a lot of luck coming in for you, but it just hit me that I know this reading is just saying you are laying a base for next year. I would keep putting the work in, and that doesn't mean that you're not going to be, seeing success. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be making progress for the rest of the year. But I just feel like the things you're doing now are kind of setting you up for like the next, not just next year, but I feel like the things you're doing now are setting you up for your destiny. The Wheel of Fortune. I know it sounds extreme, but I mean that's what the Wheel of Fortune is. The Wheel of Fortune is your destiny. The Wheel of Fortune is your future life. And of course, we control it. The wheel is always spinning, but we control the direction with our vibrations. I just want to get more details, because I feel this energy of missing something, but I feel like it's me. I don't think it's you, but I feel like I'm missing something. You have the Magician. It's funny we talked about the Magician energy with the crow. The Magician is a new beginning, and the Magician does represent needing to take action. So I would definitely take action on something here that you're thinking about starting. Ten of Cups, fortune after difficulty, a lot of abundance and a lot of happiness coming in for you here, Virgo. So love it. And you have the Five of Wands here as well. Yeah, it's going to be on the other side of an adventure. I like the Five of Wands. Five of Wands can represent conflict and competition, but, people always come to me. In other words, like, stop sugarcoating your readings. You said the Five of Wands, and you said that it represents, competition and chaos or whatever, or conflict, but then you said that it's a good thing. I'm like, yeah, it's freaking life, right? It's like in life we have to deal with conflict, we have to deal with competition. But if you squash the competition, then it's a good thing. If you win some sort of battle, then it's a good thing, right? No matter what anybody says. So what I would say here is that, yeah, there could be like some sort of competition. There could be some sort of conflict that you have to go through, but it's just part of life. It isn't good or bad. It is what it is. And, to me, the Five of Wands, I used to call it Indiana Jones. To me, it says if you go through the competition, if you go through the challenge, you're going to be rewarded. I call it Indiana Jones because it's like a card of going through a rite of passage. It's a card of, Indiana Jones is always running through temples trying to find treasure, right? And it basically says, if you do that, you will be very successful. You will, experience good things. Yeah, you have the Two of Pentacles here with the Magician. You have the Star, a wish coming in for you, dream come true with that Ten of Cups, the ultimate reward, like I was saying earlier, and the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, again, you just have to go through it. Six of Pentacles says, keep, going through whatever you're going through, keep pushing, you will be successful. I really feel that the Magician and the Two of Pentacles is kind of like saying there's a tool inside of you that you're not using. Magician says that we have mastery over all the suits in the tarot, but there could be certain things that you're using or not using. There could be certain tools, talents, gifts, skills, or abilities that you are not using in your life. And it's kind of like saying you should use those things. You should use those tools. Not a good answer, Virgo. The horse spirit here, it's kind of like a card of momentum, and it's a card of like not giving up. It's like a card, like I'm getting workhorse in my head. I pretty much every single Virgo I know is a workhorse. Like pretty much every single Virgo I know personally works extremely hard. So it doesn't really surprise me. I feel like your only good answer here in your life at this time is to just keep working really hard, keep your nose to the grindstone, as they say, and keep pushing forward. Again, the one thing that I can say is, I'm telling you right now, I feel like everything you do right now is going to set you up for next year and the rest of your life. Like I said, not just next year, but I feel like you're going to really start to see the benefits of the hard work. I feel like you're really going to see the benefits of all the things that you've been going through over the past like 3 years at least, maybe a little bit longer. And you're going to see those benefits in the future. I'm also getting something about harmony here as well with the Ten of Cups. If you've been experiencing like any challenges or anything like that with family or family members or people in your life, I feel like there's going to be more harmony. I feel like you're wishing for this with the Star card as well. It's kind of funny because like for the longest time, it's been coming up in your readings that some of you could be like exiting a situation where it's like the people around you, it's almost like they don't fit into your life in certain ways. Maybe they don't have the same goals, wishes, or dreams. It's not like, but it's very strange to me because it's like the message I always get for you is it's not like you're getting rid of people. It's not like you're just like totally, kicking people to the curb here. I feel like you're just kind of more, it's like you're being more selective about the energy that you surround yourself with. So again, it's like some of us have family that we can't avoid for whatever reason. And it's like, I feel like you're just saying to yourself, okay, I'll deal with this person for like this amount of time. But I'm not going to deal with them all day long. Right. And so I feel like you're kind of like being more protective of your energy, I would say. But there's definitely more harmony coming in for you here. Just a side note as well, wouldn't surprise me if you move here, Virgo. For some of you, I've said this to you before, definitely, because I'm getting the same message. It's like a repeating message in my head. I feel for some of you, it's like you have just moved, but I feel like you could unexpectedly be moving here in the very near future. I'm kind of cheating a little bit because, again, I look at the astrology. I mean, Uranus and Taurus, to me, it does not want to stay in one place. We just came off of all this energy over the past couple years that we had in Sagittarius, and all that energy moved out, and everything moved into Capricorn. And it's like things want to be more stable, more locked in when all this energy is in Capricorn, right? So it's like you probably thought about traveling like, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that, maybe, past that point when everything was in Sagittarius. Everything moves into Capricorn. We crave stability. Then everything moves out of Capricorn except for Pluto. Uranus moves into Taurus, right? All Earth, I'm mentioning this to you because it's all these planets are moving into Earth signs. And it's like Uranus moves into Taurus. Chaos, wanting to move, wanting to get out, wanting total freedom, wanting to, go to a new location, wanting to experience new things. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of you started to feel that. I'm saying this because it's popping into my head now. It's like I feel like maybe you haven't been experiencing that, or maybe that feeling kind of went away, but I feel like there's like a feeling that's kind of coming up inside of you where it's like you're wanting to have new experiences, wanting to become more worldly, things like that. But this is a really good reading. I love this. It's like you're going to be accomplishing your ultimate reward, like the one thing that you truly desire here, Virgo. Yeah, you have this bat spirit. I'm just getting the word change on this card, but I feel like something is changing. It's like the opposite. I don't know. That's the message I'm getting here, Virgo. It's like opposites, or the opposite is popping into my head. It's like you could be experiencing the opposite of something you've experienced in the past, but I don't know. But anyway, this looks really good, so thank you for being here, Virgo. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support. But thank you, Virgo, and definitely enjoy the rest of your year.